There was a belief among American defense analysts and NATO defense analysts that once the Russians invaded, they would be able to roll over Ukraine very quickly. They were wrong. They saw the incompetence, they saw the inadequacy of Russian defense forces, and that made the Russians look very weak. They see now Mr. Prigozhin running the Wagner Group on the ground in Ukraine, and basically cursing the Russian defense minister and the head of the regular armed forces of Russia on an almost daily basis. From the West's perspective, he looks like a lunatic, but he also looks anti-patriotic. How does that play? First of all, is Prigozhin or his rants, do they get any play inside Russian media at all? Are the Russian people aware of them? What do the Russians need to do to not look so incredibly weak on the global stage?
Well, they need to win. They need to win that war in Ukraine. And if you like, defeat, well, the combined forces of the West in Ukraine. That's the only path to winning back credibility in the West. With regard to Prigozhin, his statements, comments, what have you, are widely disseminated through the network of Telegram channels. They are not on the evening news every day, but the achievements of the Wagner Group are recognized publicly. Prigozhin himself is not very much on in the official news, but as I said, most people get their news, their analyses from virtually dozens and hundreds of independent Telegram channels, and they report on Prigozhin's statements often. I think that, again, this is my own guess, that Prigozhin has the latitude that he enjoys because the president, the commander-in-chief, wants to keep the defense ministry on its toes. He wants to have some internal patriotic debate, or at least people checking on one another. And that's why he meets with the war correspondents, who also have very often very unorthodox views, and views that are not in line with what the officialdom is reporting to the president. The president comes from the intel community, and the intel community, you need several sources to get a fuller picture of any situation, and he uses that. Politically, I don't think it matters. The idea that somehow Prigozhin is a challenge to Putin is just ludicrous.